Okay, Bismillah. Welcome back, folks. We're looking at clip 66, substitution. Right. So we have our first question we've selected, which is y is equal to 2a. Okay, hang on 1 second. Let's just give me 1 moment. Remember, we're not using that. We are going to be using this. Okay. So here comes the first question. Y is equal to 2a, which is over here, minus 3b. Okay. We're going to introduce you to something which my students say, have you made this up? It's called the QUSCA technique. Okay, what does Q stand for? The Q stands for it stands for the question. What does the U stand for? U stands for the understanding. What does the question mean? So, we know that 2a so we got 2a minus 3b. So what we're doing now, we are interpreting the question. So what we've written here is 2a minus 3b. We know that between the 2 and the a there is a time sign in there. So that's our understanding of what the question actually is. The next part is the S part. S stands for, what does S stand for? The actual substitution itself is the third part of the technique. So now, in the question, A is equal to 4 over here. If you look at this part of the question. So A is equal to 4 and B is equal to minus 2. Okay, let's put those numbers in a different color. So A is equal to, what was it, 4? And B is equal to minus 2. Now let's copy the rest of the question down. Okay. I'm putting a bracket here for good measure so you don't get confused with the times and minus next to each other. Okay. So what we've done so far, we've written down the question, we've understood the question, what it means. It means there's a time between the 2 and the A and the 3 and the B. We have now put in the values from the question itself. So the A has a value of 4 and the B has a value of minus 2. And everything else we've just copied it down as we see it there. Now, so the next part of the next part is C. C stands for what does C stand for? Calculation, but we're actually going to work it out now. So let's start working it out. So 2 times by 4 is the first part. That's the first part of my calculation, which is 8. And then we have minus, oops, I should not put that minus down first. That's naughty me. That's a bad habit. Naughty here. Okay. So we have minus 3, the next part, multiplied by minus 2. What is minus 3 times by minus 2? It will give us an answer of, what will it give us an answer of? So the answer here will be given as plus 6. Minus 3 times by minus 2. When the signs are the same, when you multiply, the answer is always plus. Okay. Now, the next part here, so we've done the calculation part. Hang on 1 second, things are beginning to slightly misalign. Excuse me for that. That's our calculation. And the last part is our answer. So, 8 plus 6 will give us an answer of So there is our answer. So this is the technique I teach my students, whether they are 8-9 years old, preparing for the 11 plus, doing simple substitution, or the GCSE students. This is the technique. We use the QUSCA technique. Q stands for, U stands for, S stands for, and C stands for, and A stands for. It's done. Okay, so this is me now breaking down this particular question into its ultimate levels, explaining every single part so there's no confusion. As we get quicker, you can miss out steps. But that's as you get quicker and you start learning things, you can say, well, okay, I could just go to the substitution level. I can miss out the U part. But in this first instance, while we're learning here in the classroom, we need to practice the method because it will build up our confidence and will build up our technique. So this is the methodology we're going to be using in the substitution questions. I'm going to do another question involving, let's have a look, question number 7. Are you happy with that one? That was question number 4, by the way. That was question 4 from over here. I'm going to clear this page, okay, and then we're going to, I think we could probably possibly maybe just delete some parts and rather than just clear the page completely. Right, let's have a look. Okay. And then we can fill it. So here comes our next question. Question number 7 from this clip 66. Your y is equal to 2x squared. Okay. So we're teaching you how to do these questions at the moment, non-calculator technique. Right. That's our question. What does this question mean? It means what? Let's have a look. What's between the 2 and the x squared, by the way? A times sign. That's our understanding, that we understand that the 2x squared means 2 times by x squared. So we've understood it correctly. Now, what is the value of x in the question? It says work out the value of y when x equals 5 and when x equals minus 3. So we're going to do you can use the minus 3 for the value. So the x is equal to minus 3 and put a bracket around it. Okay, let's put it back in. Okay. I'll be happy with that so far, yeah? We've done the question, we've written it down, we've understood it, we've put the value in there, and now we're going to do the calculation. So what is minus 3 squared? Minus 3 times by minus 3 will give us 9. So we now have 2 multiplied by 9. Any negative number squared always gives you a positive number. So minus 3 squared is 9. So it's 2 times by 9. Okay, there's our calculation part. So now we've got to go on to the final part, which is answer. So the final answer is 18. Done. Okay, so when they got squared numbers, when they got normal numbers, we have to understand. Now remember, 2x squared doesn't mean put the 2 next to the x squared value. It doesn't mean put the 2 next to the 9 and become 29. It means times the time sign there. Okay, are we happy with that now? Okay, should we do one more example, or are we happy to get cracking now with the questions? Yeah? Okay, I'm going to pause the video there. Okay, right. Okay, folks, welcome back to this question. We're looking at 5c plus 2a minus c using the QUSCA technique. And it's a technique that I've developed myself. So we have the value of a is minus 5, b is 4, and c is minus 2. Now, we've written down the question. Now we need to put down the understanding. So, between the 5 and the c, what is there? Time. Did you put time in yours? No. Okay, so that's why it's important that we get this technique and we nail it. So the 5c mathematically in algebra means 5 times by c, and 2a mathematically means 2 times by A. Now the C has no multiplier. Actually it does in a sense, it's actually got a multiplier of -1. But for the moment we're just going to write it down as minus C. Okay? Happy with that? Now, so the minus C we said is actually in reality -1 times by C, because there's really a 1 there. Now, it depends on if you have a minus in there. If you do have a minus in there. To be absolutely technically correct, we should really put here a little dotted -1. So we got here now -1 multiplied by C, because that's what it actually means. Minus C means -1C, one of them. Now let's now do the substitution part. Now we can start putting in the values. So the C value was -2 and the A value was -5, and in this particular question we got 2 sets of C's. Okay, we don't have any B's in there. Okay, let's have a look. Which question number was that? 5C plus 2A. Yes, okay. So you put the C value in again. Okay, now copy it out as you go now. 5, 2, -1 times. Okay, let's put some brackets on the rest of it. Put the plus back in. I'm trying to keep everything color coded so you can see exactly what we're doing. Okay, I'm putting a little bracket around here. So separate the time and the minus so they don't look a bit kind of crazy. Everything together. Okay, so when you miss out one step in this kind of technique, that's when the mistakes come in. Remember the 5C always means 5 times by C. Regardless of this positive number that we're putting in or a negative number. Now we need to start working this out. Okay, so we have 5 times by, so we've done the question, understanding, substitution, now we're going to do the calculation. 5, this is the C part here. 5 times by -2 is, what's 5 times by -2? -10. Okay, what's 2 times by -5 is another -10. What's -1 times by -2? +2, good. Okay, question, understanding, substitution, calculation, and here comes our answer. It hasn't changed. I think I clicked the wrong thing. Let's try that again. That's better. So -10 at -10 is -20. Okay? Just think of it as owing. You owe me 10 and you owe me another 10. So you owe me 20 altogether. Now you owe me £20. Okay, but you only have 2. So what is the balance? If you owe me £20 and you have 2, the balance is -18. Just because you got a negative answer to your question is not a need for you to jump out the window. Okay? If you get a fractional answer, a negative fractional answer, decimal answer, it doesn't matter. As long as your method is correct, you can get any type of answer. Decimal, fractional, negative, positive. Okay? So don't look at your answer, oh no, I've got a negative answer. The answer must be wrong. No need for you. Okay. Are we happy with that particular question now? Is that clarify things? So what do we need to do when we go home? We need to make sure that we follow Q, U, S, C, and A. Okay, I know it sounds a bit crazy, QUSCA, but it's something a bit funny, but it makes sure that you understand what's actually happening in the question. All these substitution questions work on the same basis. I want to do one other quick question that you had earlier and go through that one. Let me just quickly block this one off. Okay, oh, that's not what I was looking for. Okay, never mind. Black is good as well. Okay, let's change it to white. And can we go to favor? Okay, black's good as well. We'll work in white. Here's our next question, and here we go. Okay, brush. So say for example I have 3 x, y, z. That's the question. Okay, and then I'm going to have to give you the value of. So we just squeeze in at the bottom over here. No, which change color. So we can say x is equal to 2, y is equal to 3, and z is equal to 4. Alright, let's get rid of these. Don't need this anymore. That's done. Okay, now what does this question mean? This is the question. What is the understanding line? I'm just going to space them out a bit because I'm going to put the times in there. So it means 3 times by x, times by y, times by z. So no matter how long the string of letters in algebra is, as long as it's a product, which is all of it together, we can split it up and put the times in there. Now what we do the substitution part and we put in the values. So 2 goes here. The 3 goes under the y and the 4 goes under the z. And we put all the numbers back in, which is 3. That's our substitution. Now let's do our calculation. So we got 3 times by 2 times by 3 times by 4. We can just break this up into 2 small chunks. So 3 times by 2 is, and 3 times by 4 is. So that's part of our calculation. Now we've got to finalize it all off and give the answer. So 6 times by 12 will give us. Is the answer. So everything matches up. Whether you're doing a simple question, well actually this one's more kind of more letters together, numbers and stuff, or you do a multi-step question, it all follows the same technique. What's the technique? QUSCA. Question, understanding, substitution, calculation, and answer. So we need to follow these 5 steps for success. When you're an expert, you can jump steps. At the moment, you're not an expert. So you must follow the steps. Okay? Are we happy with that? Okay, that's the end of our lesson today, folks. We'll see you next week, inshallah.